Welcome to Conversations. I'm Muqtedar Khan, your host, and today I'm going to talk to you about a lot of, shall we say, that there's a lot of debates in the media going on about an alleged deal between Russia and Pakistan for $2.6 billion. What is the truth behind this? Is there a confirmation or is it fake information? So there are lots of debates and discussions going on about it. When I first saw the news, I was very surprised, and I was wondering, where are these two countries? I mean, Russia is so busy with its war effort and so busy fighting with Ukraine. And all the money that Russia has in its banks, etc., have been frozen. Nearly $600 billion of Russian assets have been frozen by Western powers in Europe. So, where is Russia getting $2.6 billion to invest in Pakistan? That was a question that kept popping in my mind. I tried to follow the story, and so I will talk about it. But one thing that I found out while investigating whether there was a deal between Russia and Pakistan is that there has been a growing relationship between Russia and Pakistan in the past few years, even though in 2023 or 2024, Pakistan sold a lot of ammunition through Great Britain to Ukraine. So under pressure from US, Pakistan provided a lot of ammunition to Ukraine. They sold it to Ukraine. They made money, and that basically they sold it to Great Britain, and Great Britain transferred those extra ammunitions that Pakistan had, because some of the weapons that were being used by Ukraine were identical to what Pakistan had from the United States. So I was wondering, why would Russia be interested in improving its relations with Pakistan to such an extent that it would commit $2.6 billion? So that was the curiosity that made me look at Russia-Pakistan relations. But I must definitely tell you that in the past few weeks, we have seen that the attitude of the three superpowers, China, Russia, as well as India, has become a bit more soft on Pakistan than we would have anticipated. So, if you had asked me before Operation Sindoor or last month as to what is the relationship that Pakistan has with the global superpowers, I would have said that, look, it is a client state of China. It is entirely dependent on China for its economic progress as well as for security related issues for defense and technology. But other than that, they're not really great allies as such. China doesn't depend on Pakistan for anything. So it's a one way relationship. And as far as the US is concerned, Pakistan has become very irrelevant in many ways. Is what I would have told you. But now it appears that there is some life in Pakistan's diplomatic appeal, and the question is, what is that? And that's what we are going to explore. So let me quickly run through what I see as Pakistan's relations with China and the US. And then after that, I will talk about China's relations with Russia, which you will find a few things surprising as I did. And then I will open it up for questions from you guys and your comments, and I will react to them. But let me just finish this brief discussion that I have. So during the entire Operation Sindoor and after Pahalgam, when the Pahalgam tragedy happened, all countries in the world condemned terrorism. But the big surprise that we got was nobody condemned Pakistan by name. Obviously, China also condemned terrorism, but it did not condemn Pakistan. Neither did the US, nor did Russia. They did not tie up any relationship between Pahalgam and Pakistan. So everyone said, oh, terrorism is a bad thing, and we will support India in fighting terrorism, etc. But no one said that we are upset that Pakistan is supporting cross-border terrorism. Pakistan should stop this, and India is justified in taking action against terrorists who are based in Pakistan. So the word Pakistan did not appear in any of the condemnations made by any of these major powers, including France and Britain and other players. So that itself kind of was a diplomatic victory to Pakistan, because what India wanted was the recognition by the world that Pakistan was behind Pahalgam. And we saw that the current delegations that India has sent out to the 7 different regions in the world with over 30 plus 35 or 36 countries that they are visiting, the whole goal is to connect Pakistan to cross border terrorism and to Pahalgam in particular, and to make the case that Pakistan has been supporting terrorism against India for the last 40 years. But the first shock we got is that Pakistan was not mentioned in the condemnations about Pahalgam. The second shock came from the US uh, during Operation Sindoor and after that, and slightly before that, in which Donald Trump started equating both uh, Pakistan and India on the same level. So, for example, he has made 8 or 10 tweets now about this issue. And in each one of them, he tried to emphasize that. In the first one, he said, I'm close to Pakistan, I'm close to India, and I hope these two countries resolve the matter in a reasonable fashion. And he has maintained that kind of balancing act and saying Pakistan is also a great nation, India is a great nation, Pakistan has great leadership, India has great leadership, and that kind of rhetoric he has maintained. So from that, there are a lot of articles that have come out, and I've talked about it a little bit yesterday too. And in my article in the Diplomat, which came out day before yesterday, I've pointed this out. The rehyphenation of India and Pakistan has happened primarily because Donald Trump started talking about that. And then Donald Trump did Pakistan a huge favor by bringing Kashmir into the fray. So by saying that I would like to um, play a mediator's role, and in a neutral country, let's have discussion about broad issues. Let's talk about, and then he mentioned Kashmir and said he would like to bring about reconciliation on Kashmir issue. So India's goal, foreign policy goal, has always been to basically keep this matter bilateral and to keep the rest of the world out of what happens in Kashmir, because occasionally there are very egregious human rights violations in Kashmir, like in 2019 by the Indian forces, which had shut down internet, and the country locked it down for a long period of time. So it is under those circumstances that India does not want foreign countries, Saudi Arabia, OIC, UN, etc., to interfere in India. What India sees is its internal affairs and internal matter. But Donald Trump now internationalized it. And as things go, it appears that there are lots of cooperative initiatives that are taking place. And as I pointed out in a previous show, that Pakistan had this whole exhibition about its mineral wealth. And so Eric Meyer, one of the senior State Department persons, visited Pakistan in the hope of basically doing a deal between the US and Pakistan on rare earth materials, the kind of deal that the US has signed with Ukraine. So Eric Meyer, the State Department person, was there around 8th or 9th of April. This was before Pahalgam happened. And so they had this very serious discussion about earth and rare materials. And the United States, under Donald Trump, is trying to make sure that the Chinese monopoly on rare earth materials is broken. China has a very strong hold on not just the raw material that is being excavated and dug out, but also its processing and finishing. So all the way from finding cobalt and nickel to making solar batteries, etc. All of that, China is dominating the market, and these technologies and these minerals are very critical for future technologies. Uh, so so Donald Trump is trying very hard. His whole talk about Canada and Greenland are all about rare earth materials, really. So now that Pakistan has at least demonstrated that it might have some rare earth materials, there are lots of shall we say estimate. Some estimate that it's about $6 crore. Some say it's much more than that, $60 billion or something like that, $6 trillion or $60 billion. What are the big numbers are being thrown around? That Pakistan has gold, cobalt, and and some other rare earth materials which are very critical, and the US is interested. And then, of course, there is the Trump family, which is now trying to build cryptocurrency exchanges in Pakistan. And so it is possible that they stand to make a lot of money from Pakistan by selling cryptocurrency and introducing cryptocurrency in Pakistan. So there is some, shall we say, vested interest in the Trump administration to improve relations with Pakistan. So there you have US raising India and Pakistan on the same level. So so you could say that suddenly Pakistan finds itself in the good books of the number one superpower in the world. And then if you look at China, which is number two, I mean, there is no doubt about that. China and Pakistan are very close. Wang Yi basically said that we are uh, all weather friends, and we very serious take Pakistan's security and its sovereignty very seriously. We support Pakistan and so on and so forth. And they also proved their point by providing Pakistan with intelligence and satellite coverage during the military. And they, of course, provided jet fighters and rockets and air-to-air missiles, PL-15s and JC-10s, etc. So the second biggest superpower has also proven that it has good relations with Pakistan. Well, the second part doesn't come as a surprise to India, because India has understood that there is these two nations are close. I mean, going all the way back to the Karakoram Highway, and Pakistan giving away some of the some of the Kashmir to the Chinese. All of that suggests that these two countries have been working against India and together with each other for quite some time. So now you see that how US and Pakistan have got closer, and now you also see how China and Pakistan have got closer. There's a difference. The collaboration and cooperation between Pakistan and the US is very superficial, and it's not anti India. Whereas the collaboration between China and Pakistan is very deep, very profound, extremely engaged with lots and lots of investments. The CPEC investments by China is more than $60 billion, and then it continues to support Pakistan in its effort to deal with its debt crisis. So it keeps rolling over the debt without calling it in. So China Pakistan support is very thick, very deep, and also anti India. So let me summarize this too. US Pakistan relations are superficial, and they are not anti India. Whereas China Pakistan relations are deep, and they are highly integrated, and they are definitely anti India. There's no doubt about it. Now, what's happening with Russia? As I told you, the biggest thing that happened in the past 2, 3 years was Pakistan providing weapons and ammunition to Ukraine, which had upset the Russians. But in 2023, Pakistan also started buying oil at a discounted price from Russia. So while it was not buying oil in the volume that China and India were, Pakistan's trade relations with Russia increased. So as of last year, India Russia trade was $66 billion, of which more than 60 billion were just oil purchases by India. Whereas Pakistan Russia trade was only $1 billion. But there have been a few developments which are interesting, and I want to share them with you. So there was a delegation from Russia which did go to Pakistan and did explore various economic and other possibilities for collaboration. And in that, the discussions of reviving the steel mills that the Soviet Union had built in Pakistan came up. But there is no MOU for $2.6 billion. That news is unconfirmed. And so the kind of excitement that we saw in Indian media, even Hindu published the news, and I saw it in Times of India also, that a $2.6 billion deal was signed between Russia and Pakistan. That is not yet confirmed. The only thing that I can confirm from Moscow Times and other places is that there was a Russian delegation in Pakistan, not a very high level delegation, uh, and uh, and what they did was to negotiate, to discuss various projects. This was on May 14th, I think. 14th or May 15th is when the delegation went to Pakistan. But on May 7th, Lavrov made a very interesting comment where he volunteered to mediate. Russia volunteered to mediate between India and Pakistan even before the US did it. So it was on May 7th that Lavrov said that we are willing to mediate between India and Pakistan so that the problem is resolved peacefully. And I find that very interesting that the Indian media did not react as negatively towards Russia's internationalizing the Kashmir issue as they are reacting to Donald Trump and the US. So in that sense, even Russia did a favor to Pakistan by trying to internationalize the issue. Pakistan would like nothing better than to be talking to other countries about what they think is happening in Pakistan, in Kashmir. So in that sense, even Russia has kind of given Pakistan some diplomatic hope. But I want to show you some old deals that have happened in the last 2 years between Russia and Pakistan. And one of it is very, very critical. And I'm surprised that not much of it has been discussed in the Indian media. So I know if you are able to see this, I'm using some slides, and I would like to know if some of you, Mohsin, if you can tell me if you are able to see the slides, it will be great. Uh, or Bajwa, so it will be very nice if you can tell me whether you can see the slides that are great. So Shirish, thank you very much. So you can see them. So now if you look at this slide, it tells you that Russian delegation in Pakistan to discuss economic cooperation. So this is what happened there. They went out there, they went out a couple. This is an older photograph, but there was a delegation on the 14th of May that went to Pakistan to discuss economic cooperation. They did not sign any major memorandum of understanding or anything like that. But if you go back a little bit older news, this is about a year old. Pakistan and Russia signed 8 agreements related to health, education, and trade in Moscow. So this happened more than a year ago. So where Pakistan was signing deals, and there's nothing security related or anti-India in this. Pakistan has all the rights to improve relations with Russia, and so does Russia have all the rights to improve relations with Pakistan. And you can see those uh, memorandums. I'm not really interested in what the health agreements are. In fact, there is a counterterrorism collaboration also taking place between Russia and Pakistan, where Russia is actually training Pakistani police forces and law enforcement in counterterrorism techniques and methods and I guess strategies, etc. So there is a security related cooperation taking place between Russia and Pakistan. But the biggest deal was this, and I'm surprised that even I missed this. So this happened in June 2024. So this happened last time, and I think we were all distracted with the Lok Sabha elections, so we didn't pay any attention. So in 2022 or 2023 State of the Union address that Vladimir Putin gave in Russia, in that State of the Union address, he invited Pakistan to join the ITC, which is the International Trade Corridor, International North South Transport Corridor. And you can see the map that I have. Now, this is a very interesting initiative started by India, Iran, and Russia in 2000. So, this is a 25-year-old project which was is very difficult to move forward because of the sanctions that the US has imposed on first on Iran and now on Russia. So India is the only non-sanctioned country, but until 2005, I think India was also under US sanctions because of the nuclear tests. So anyway, these three countries tried to create this land route, which would take basically connect Mumbai to St. Petersburg. and then also connects Mumbai to Moscow, and then also connect Mumbai to North America. So the plan was that they would go through. These are some. Of, this is the some of the routes. You can see it very clearly: India through Iran to Azerbaijan to Russia, and then to Northern Europe. Uh, and this apparently takes half the time than the route that they currently use, which is through the Suez Canal. So if you look at the route through the Suez Canal, it is too long. This takes about 40 days. This takes about 60 days. So if India is exporting something to St. Petersburg in Russia, which will be somewhere here, then it takes 60 days. And if it's sending directly from here by land, it takes about 30 days. And what is also important is it's cheaper and probably also now safer because the Houthis are going crazy over here. The Houthis are just they're dominating the sea at the moment and raising the cost of trade and transportation through the Suez Canal and in the Arabian Sea and the Persian Gulf region. So in Putin invited Pakistan to join the North-South transport corridor. For India, this was very important, but because it allowed India to bypass Pakistan. So India would connect directly to Chabahar. From here, it would connect to Central Asia by land, and then also via Iran to Azerbaijan. There are three routes here actually. You can see. So those three routes, one goes through the Caspian Sea, one goes through Azerbaijan, and another might go through Armenia, which is not that interesting at the moment. But basically, the one through Azerbaijan is very important. One would also go this way through Turkey and to southern Europe, and one to northern Europe. So this deal is for India. It was important because it bypassed Pakistan, allowed India to also exclude Pakistan from Central Asia, disconnect Pakistan from Central Asia, etc. But now Putin has invited Pakistan, and June 2024, Pakistan has applied for membership in the International Trade Corridor, Transport Corridor (ITC). It is also called INSTC, International North-South Trade Corridor. And a lot of Central Asian countries have now become part of it. Oman is part of it. Kazakhstan is part of it. Belarus is joining. Pakistan is joining. Turkey is part of it, Armenia is part of it, obviously Russia, Iran, and India, which are very, very prominent. They are all part of this the deal. So suddenly you have this scenario where Pakistan is managing, in spite of all its failed governance and all the political upheaval that it has, all these Imran Khan related problems, the military and civil society problems, the problems with debt and economic mishandling. In spite of all of these problems, Pakistan suddenly seems to be having good relations with the world's top three superpowers. And that I think should worry India because India has tried to isolate Pakistan completely. So, for example, India tried to isolate Pakistan from cricket by excluding them from playing in IPL. But PSL is doing okay, and probably it is now the second best. No, after the Big Bash, I think it is the third best or fourth. Yeah, it is probably the third best T20 tournament, Premier League based in the country. So Pakistan has somewhat managed to have good relations with these three powers. And yes, I think that the $2.6 billion deal, I don't think that is true because right now Russia is not in a position to be investing that much money in a project that could take 10, 12 years for it to set up. And Pakistan doesn't have the dollars. If it had the dollars, it would not need the IMF loan. So, so, so we will see what happens. But I feel that because Pakistan has such good relations with China, and China now has such a strong influence in Russia, we might see the Pakistan-China relations improve Pakistan-Russia relations. I'm not very sure that 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 it's a zero-sum game. That because Russia, I think, can have good relations with Pakistan as well as India, and the US can also do that. The problem is for India because India doesn't want Pakistan to have good relations with these countries. So I'm going to stop with that. That is what I wanted to share with you. I always think I should try and do this in 15 minutes, but it ends up going into 20, 25 minutes. But I'll be happy now to take your questions and your comments. And Conversations is also open to super thanks and super chats if you're so inclined. Uh, so, howdy from Dallas Fort Worth, Shirish. Hello to you too. Mohsin, that's why we love the Pakistan army. What has this got to do with Pakistan? They are running the best foreign policy. Okay. I don't know whether it's the foreign policy being run by the Pakistanis or the civilian government who are doing this, or it's just happening because of the initiatives of the superpowers. But I will let you enjoy it. Xavier Jerome, Mr. Professor, you're a real radical Islamist. Did you ever say in your show why Pakistan nurturing and promoting terrorism? uh, yeah, you can sponsor a show and then ask me those questions. I'll be happy to do it. Xavier, you want to know why Pakistan is supporting terrorism? Yes, come back here with a big super chat, and I'll be happy to answer that question. That's how you can influence what I say. But I have done. I did a whole critique on Asim Munir's speech. Go and see. Rahul Chaudhary, for the short term now, India is free to anything, buying from any country without any country's pressure. Good. Dr. Sahib, why Trump family wants to do crypto investment with Pakistan? Because there are a few very rich people in Pakistan and they just want to take their money, like they took trillions of dollars from the Arabs. And with I don't know of any private deals made this time, but last time in the first term when Donald Trump went to Saudi Arabia, Saudi MBS invested $100 million in Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump's fund. So he literally gave $100 million to the Trump family. So I'm sure that even now, UAE, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia, people would have invested in their Trump family's various businesses, and now they are pushing the crypto business a lot. So while that cryptocurrency could collapse, there might be some rich Pakistanis who are willing to buy some of this rubbish from the Donald Trump's family in the hope that in some way or the other, it will translate into political influence in Pakistan, in the US. And clearly, it's very difficult to explain the sudden sympathy that uh, Trump is showing towards Pakistan. There is no major geopolitical shifts for a change in Pakistan, in US policy towards Pakistan, but we are seeing that there is. Naveed Akhtar, Pakistan has become passport for China. I wonder what you mean by that. But yes, China is using Pakistan. It has used Pakistan in this war to advertise its weapons, and a lot of countries are showing interest now in buying made in China weapons. So you could say, in that sense, that yes, Pakistan is suddenly being useful to for China. Uh, Jero, we got payments from. Okay, these are all the Vishwa gurus here. Why aren't we shouting about this from the rooftops? Well, that's a good question. We are sending delegations abroad to 17 countries. But I don't know. See, India has spent billions of dollars in the last 10 years in diplomacy. Modi went to 73 countries, made 88 trips, went to the US 10 times. Imran Khan never came to the US. And Shehbaz Sharif did not get any major attention in the US. He comes for the UN conference every year. So, so Pakistan does not have any high profile diplomatic events with major powers. So far, it hasn't had any. The only big event that has happened for Pakistan in the last 5, 6 years was when Bilawal Bhutto came to India and went to Goa for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization's foreign ministers meeting. That's it. I don't see any major diplomatic event for Pakistan. But India has done a lot, hosted G20, hosted SCO, was chair of the UN Security Council. There is all the squad meetings going on. Modi got to speak in the White House, but also give lecture to the Congress and the joint session of the US Congress. So in spite of all of this, for India to find itself completely alone and isolated during the Operation Sindoor should raise lots of questions about the direction of Indian foreign policy and India's diplomacy and the manner in which India has been communicating. And that is, to me, something that requires critical thinking in India. And unfortunately, right now, there are anybody who challenges Modi and asks tough questions is silenced. My own channel has been blocked in India. This channel that you're watching this on is not visible in India anymore. That's why I have now another channel. And at 11 o'clock, I will do this. At 10:30, I will do this same show in Hindi for the Indian audiences, those who don't have VPN or don't know how to use VPN. Ali Chokchai. Hi, Doc. What do you see about Kashmir's future? As per some Indian analysts, LOC was maintained for so long. Why not declare international border? I agree with that position, Ali Chukhtai, that I think India, Pakistan should end this thing. Pakistan should stop trying to get Kashmir what it has Balochistan, a wonderful, very rich, mineral rich, very beautiful province. They have not developed it. They have not invested in it. They have ignored it to the point that there is a whole insurgency going on there. I think India, Pakistan should accept the LOC as a final border and focus more on development. These are both very poor countries. Pakistan's GDP per capita is like 1,500, $1,600, and India is just $2,800. These are lower middle income economies and lower economies. I mean, the healthcare is bad. There is so much poverty. There is shortage of food. There is environmental issues. They should be focusing on all of this rather than wasting money on weapons and wars. It doesn't help at all. Shirish, begging your pardon, but don't you think just sharing the evidence would have elevated all of it? Yes, parts of it would have been if India had sent those delegations, Shirish, to all these countries. They didn't have to send to smaller countries, but if they had sent it to EU, G7, Russia, China, and had some, and maybe the Middle East, 4 or 5 countries in the Middle East. So they sent to 20 countries in the world and presented this. There would have been lots of media coverage by CNN and BBC of the evidence, and then Pakistan would have been isolated, and India would have been vindicated. Uh, uh, and there would be more justification accepted. But right now, people are saying that you're pointing to the past and saying it happened now, and countries seem to be less convinced. And if you are familiar with what happened to Shashi Tharoor in Colombia, where the Colombian government has expressed sympathy for the civilians who were killed in Pakistan by India, and Shashi Tharoor called it rather unfortunate, and he was very upset about it. So you can see that there are very strong and profound diplomatic failures. Mark Welper, India, at the moment, yes, you could say India has become a lonely country in the world, but isn't that what they wanted? This whole talk of strategic autonomy uh, was there, and so they find themselves isolated. To me, that these countries did not stand up with India, I can understand. The only surprise to me, big surprise, was the Quad and Russia not being more supportive of India. Why didn't Russia send, say, one battery of S-400 to India? Just like that, one, or lent it to India and said, well, if you are going to go and do something in Pakistan, here are We are sending you some S-400s, use them, and then send them back to us. We need them against Ukraine. Why didn't Russia do that? That would have been something extremely important and supportive. Russia didn't do that because it didn't want to upset China. But what about Japan? Why didn't the Prime Minister of Japan come to India? And none of these foreign leaders came to India. Those who came, we insulted them, which was the foreign minister of Iran and the foreign minister of Saudi Arabia. These were the two prominent people who came to India after Pahalgam and before Sindoor. Hi, Patel Sahab from Colorado. Hello. So, are there any other questions? There is a few second lag between you typing it and my seeing it. If there are no more questions or no more comments, I'll be happy to take the break. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please subscribe to Khanversations, like this video, press the bell icon, and don't forget to share this with your social political network. And so I will see you again tomorrow. Today, I tried doing a show in the morning, and that went very well. So I will try and do another live show, but I'm doing that for India around noon time, India's noon time. So 12 o'clock US time, and that'll be around 9:30 India time. And it'll not be on this channel, it'll be on Conversations 2025. Chokhtai Saab, what's your second question? Let me go up and see. Secondly, how can India benefit if it bypasses Pakistan starts trade? Oh, yeah. So India has been trying to reach Central Asia, and the whole Chabahar port with Iran is about that. So earlier in the first term, Donald Trump had given India a kind of exemption from it had prohibited. India was buying oil from Iran and building the Chabahar port in around 2017. And then Trump basically said, okay, you can work with the port, but you can't buy the oil. And so India stopped buying oil from Iran, and India invested, I think, about $100 million. The Chabahar port has two jetties. There are only two jetties. One of them is maintained by India. And for India, Chabahar port was to bypass Pakistan and connect India to Afghanistan, which is landlocked, and then to control to Central Asia. India wants to export a lot of things to Central Asia. These are countries which are like middle income economies are getting close to there. Some of them have a lot of oil, like Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, etc. also has a lot of oil. So India was trying to, initially India had asked Pakistan, in fact, India wanted to go through Pakistan, but it's Pakistan which stopped it, which is a stupid thing to do. If Pakistan had given India permission, and so one of these two guys, Adani or Ambani, would have built a huge highway through Pakistan all the way to Afghanistan, connecting to Central Asia. And Pakistan would have benefited from that trade in a huge way. So it would have been a financial bonus for Pakistan and, of course, a financial bonus for India. So when that didn't happen, they went through this. India started in 2000 talking about the north-south transport corridor with Russia and Iran. But now Pakistan wants to join that at the invitation, and it has already applied for it. And it applied because Russia invited it. It will be very difficult for India to block it. So Pakistan has now applied to two organizations where India is a founding member. One is the International North-South Trade Corridor, which I've been talking about, the maps that I showed, and the other is BRICS. So Pakistan has also applied for BRICS, and it is once again trying to rely on the support of is relying on the support of Russia to become a member of BRICS. So Russia and Pakistan, China probably will support Pakistan's application to BRICS. And Turkey is also applied for BRICS. So it's going to be interesting to see what India does with these two applications. There are no veto. India cannot veto it. India will have to lobby with other countries, but A lot of these countries are definitely friends of Turkey. Saudi Arabia is not going to block Turkey, neither is Indonesia or Malaysia. So UAE, we don't know how UAE is going to react to Pakistan. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens going forward. Okay. Oops. Oops. Okay, go ahead. Oops, what's your question? Still be the prime minister of India. Isn't unfair who haven't voted? I just took India as an example. Could you please throw some light on still he the prime minister of India? Isn't unfair who haven't voted? I didn't understand. Oops, your questions. Maybe your full typing, you were not able to fully type it. Do read, type it. I'll be happy to answer. And then what other questions? There are none. Can another round between Pakistan and India help India to win his lost narrative? Naveed Akhtar, that's a very good question. It depends on the provocation, Naveed. If there is a big terrorist attack like Pahalgam, God forbid, in Kashmir, then Pakistan, then India will probably do it the other way. They'll do it properly, which means they will first show the evidence to at least to the UN Security Council, and then they will probably attack because Modi has trapped himself by saying that look, Operation Sindoor has stopped, has paused, not stopped. So if there is another attack in Kashmir or Jammu, which India thinks is by Pakistan-supported terrorist groups or Pakistani military is played a role in it, then Operation Sindoor will unpause and continue. And Modi will have no choice because the public will demand that because he has told public, look, he's going around all over the country saying, I will do this, I will destroy Pakistan's economy, I will destroy Pakistan's military. And he has been making those kind of statements since the end of Operation Sindoor. So it will be very difficult for him not to take action. India is never going to quit, my dear friend. I don't know why you think India will. Why should India leave Kashmir? Kashmir is Kashmir in India is far more integrated into India than the Pakistani part of Kashmir into Pakistan. Pakistan has exploited Gilgit and Baltistan regions. It has not developed them. They are poor, and there are constant protests there against Pakistan. And whereas the Indian side of Kashmir has developed significantly, there are universities, there are trade, and before the Pahalgam attack, there were like crores of hundreds of thousands of tourists coming, both from India and abroad. So the economy in Kashmir was beginning to look up. So India leaving Kashmir is the chances of POK, Pak occupied Kashmir, breaking away from Pakistan, in my opinion, the odds are higher than the other opposite happening, in spite of the insurgency in Kashmir, in spite of the Hindutva nationalism and its efforts to reduce the Muslim population of Kashmir. In spite of all of that, I think the Kashmiris don't want to join Pakistan. There are only two options for them which they have. One is either to become independent or to remain part of India. And if India invests in Kashmir and makes it profitable for them to be part of India, then they will. And that is what Rajnath Singh was saying at an event last week. If India does economically well, then even POK will want to join. If you look at this moment, the Kashmiris in India are maybe 3 times richer than the Kashmiris in Pakistan. Even though a lot of Kashmiris in Pakistan live in Great Britain, the Mirpur crowd. Anyway, so thank you very much for watching Conversations. Like this video, please, and share it. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. And until tomorrow, I'm your host, Muqtedar Khan. Take care. Bye.